I hate to break the fishing news after Ramchuck, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep.
All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
The podcast when we were eating ribs
at Montana's
with no headphones on, and you just see how disgusting it is to eat into a microphone. Unlistenable.
It was the most delicious podcast.
It was delicious, but for listeners,
do you guys
no bueno.
So there is times where people can kind of gross me out or annoy me while they're eating. And I found myself, you guys do this where you're sitting across from somebody and they're not eating. Like the other day I made lunch and my wife was sitting across from me on the island and she was on her computer and the TV was really low and I just started eating. And I was like, I got all of a sudden very vulnerable about her like getting annoyed. So I turned up the TV way loud so she couldn't hear me. Am I just way in my own head about this? Or does anybody else know what I'm talking about?
I'm not married, so I don't understand.
Okay.
Way in your own head.
So eating when the person beside you is not
didn't
eating?
want to be gross. Didn't want to like gross. I wanted to eat.
What were you eating?
It was like
Ribs?
a General Tao's chicken with 2 pieces of toast. So those are big bites because I like to put a lot of it
toast?
onto the toast.
Oh, okay.
I eat so much stuff with toast.
I know
It's
Chalmers.
disgusting.
He doesn't use a fork. He uses a piece of
I use
toast.
a piece of toast, and like almost everything I eat with toast.
Cultural fusion.
It's kind of like Indian style food.
From?
Yeah, right here, baby, born and bred.
Right? They take it and put
Yeah,
it on the
you just,
naan, like, and they
nice
like
roti
Like to the
maybe?
point
And a clean
where
plate
I
at the
even
end.
can take a piece of bread, and I know exactly how to get each and every bite with something on it, so it's like a little peninsula.
you
for
can
it.
see Chalmers can see an amount of food on a plate, and he can tell you how many pieces of bread that food it'll
Is
take
it
to
always
get that
toast
food
or
into
is
his
raw
belly.
dog
It's
bread
always
sometimes?
always toast.
You're like LeBron
I
James.
rarely have a bite of food left without a corner of toast left.
Do we butter the toast?
Now, would you
hell
rather
yeah.
have Chalmers? I guess if you were to make a mistake, which side do you want to err on? Having bread at the end or having food at the
So
end?
one little piece of bread, because then you can wipe the bowl down.
It's the cleaner.
Yeah, you don't want
That's
to.
the magic eraser.
You don't want to scoop a General Tao's chicken with chicken fried rice.
And if you've done a real-
no bread,
Real good job. You can just put that bowl back in the cupboard.
I'm a General Sonny's chicken man myself.
Yeah.
Do you have different types of bread that, like, could you give me a pairing guide? Types of bread and
Oh,
meals.
good question.
Oh yeah. So like, I like a good sourdough, a piece of sourdough
With
toast
anything.
with mostly like Asian food. But if you're going pasta, I like French bread. It got to be a crispy French bread, and it can't be cut too thick. It can't be like Texas style. It has to be cut like a Wonder Bread thickness. You know, we're talking like half an inch. Too thick, and it starts to hurt your mouth because you just start to scrape it all up with the crust. So
Hang on. Like in this specific meal,
yes,
how many pieces of toast were in the inventory?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, 2. 2's.
So you made the appropriate amount of food for 2 pieces of toast.
So truth be told, it was a microwavable meal. Sometimes I just
Okay.
Plastic tray.
so those are so I know this I know the quantity
yeah.
of that. I don't have to like gauge it. I know the quantity of a microwavable meal.
Chalmers
So-
can eat plastic trays because he's had kids, you Chuck. He's done his part
No,
for
but see, I
society.
fancy it
Your
up.
microplastic riddled testicles that can't shoot a child out to save their lives in 10 years.
It's all part of the plan.
I fancy it up. I take it out of the microwavable container and I put it into my own bowl, and then it makes me feel like I'm not
Smart.
eating a microwavable meal.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I like a good rye bread, but when I have rye bread with pasta, I like to put a little bit of garlic powder on it to make it a little more garlic toasty. If you're having cinnamon toast,
I feel like rye bread can only have like smoked meat on it.
so rye bread's the best for sandwiches, definitely.
So is sourdough.
Reuben.
Sourdough's good for everything.
Sourdough toast's a little hard for me. It's a little, it takes a lot of the moisture out with sourdough.
Okay.
But
Maybe toast a little lighter.
That was a very technical sentence.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
know,
know if
verdict
it's-
plus,
on
you
your
know those
wedding,
sourdough
you'll be
loaves that are like really wide? They're
Yeah.
almost like a circle.
yeah,
Yeah.
tough to toast.
Dude,
Gotta cut them in half.
Cut them in half, and
Yeah.
now you're
Then you got
Essentially,
you
you're
expose the
making
edge. You expose
Is
the
there-
edge now for
exactly
Are
moisture
there
release.
meals where you will not make toast?
pizza.
Because
In itself is toast.
It's toast. Yeah.
It's kind of the whole root of this. Yeah.
Let's see,
It's a
pizza,
toast.
I'd say soup, but I usually have toast with it too.
Cereal?
What about toast? Do you have toast with toast?
No, you know,
Bread
and the funny
sandwich.
part about it is,
What's a good toast to pair with a sourdough?
oh,
Are Are you talking about using toast as spread on other toast?
Well, this
Yeah,
is
that's what I would.
Buddy,
a
have
toast
you guys
for a
ever
toast.
have you guys ever
just
like
chew it up,
dipped a
baby,
grilled
burn it
cheese
up.
sandwich in tomato soup?
That's the best.
Oh, buddy.
Probably the best meal.
Who hasn't
I've
done
ever
that?
had.
Have you ever
I had that 2 years.
Yeah, do you
2 years
breathe?
ago.
Yeah. Okay. So the last thing I will say, I swear, did I just forget my train
Now
of thought?
listen, if your question is, do I think that your wife hates you because of this? It sounds like she has a lot to deal with.
She commented.
Sounds like
on
you have a
it.
lot of
I'd-
bread at your house.
I'd
There's
be
a lot of
lying.
bread. There
Oh.
sounds like a lot of psychosis.
Shout out Bread and Butter Bakery
Yeah.
down below. Load up, brother.
You
I'd
may
be-
have CTE. I'm not sure.
I'd be lying if I said she hadn't mentioned it before.
Bringing
Maybe when I complain about my thickness at times, she can maybe.
You add
Go-
4 pieces of bread to
She's
every
like,
meal you
maybe
eat.
don't have bread with everything, and I'm like, it's the only pleasure I get through eating.
That's it. That's it.
That's your only vice,
God.
Chris Chalmers.
You sound like a guy living in an iron
point.
lung who's
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
the only
don't-
thing I get is my toast.
I don't dip bread in Orion Coke. No, but
If you
here's
did,
the,
you'd be
I have a buddy
1,200
who does
pounds.
that.
here's the
And
ironic
drunk all
part
the time.
about this all. When I get a clubhouse, I have to make sure if it's a triple decker
Oh, you get
to get that middle layer. out of
whoever
there.
invented the triple decker
Don't
should
get it.
Bread industry.
Hang on,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
exactly.
follow
Big
you through
bread.
on this.
We're gonna invent a sandwich to increase our bread sales by 50%.
Why do we not like the centerpiece?
It's just too big. It's just too
It's
much.
too much. It's a big bite.
It's just too thick.
It could cut the roof of your mouth too if that's toasted too hard at like
Like,
a
and-
weird airport.
Yeah, and
restaurant.
you eat the toothpick.
Oh,
I'm not a big.
Oh,
club
I've been
sandwich
into
guy.
a toothpick before in a
Oh.
clubhouse. Oh yeah, no,
They're dangerous.
not my finest day.
Well, maybe I don't know.
That ruined the
he
whole.
just ate the whole thing.
Oh yeah, because that like
It'll get you.
that's penetrating.
You know where they probably have a good clubhouse sandwich. Today's pod brought to you by the Millwoods Golf Course. Private club conditions for under $100. Greens are always immaculate. And here's one of the things I love. Their fully stocked pro shop comes with a ton of local clothing lines. Great stuff. Check them out online, millwoodsgolfcourse.ca, and get ready for when we open up registration for the Oilers Nation Open. It'll be fun.
It's gonna be great.
Hoots will be had.
The weather's finally starting to change, man. Today's vibes are high.
Yeah, vibes are very high.
Well,
so-
buddy, come on. We won game 5 in Florida. That's electric.
I was
And we're
gonna
going
say.
into a game 6.
Looking at
Equally
today's
electric.
show prep, now that we're done the 7 minutes of bread talk, Game 6 Cup final tomorrow.
Well, Tommy's
Tom.
like, I need 7 minutes filled.
yeah.
And Chalmers like, there's only one thing to fill it with, and that's bread.
There's only one thing I want to talk about right now. So the game, everybody, I'm scared to see how emotional I get when we win this cup. Because when we staved off those 10 minutes,
Whew.
when Matthew Tkachuk makes that play and Connor McDavid buries it, my emotions just flooded out of me. I didn't full on cry, but I like got up, I hugged my wife, my kid, and I was choked up like I was listening to He Stopped Loving Her Today by George Jones. The only song that can make me cry. And it was like, couldn't even do anything about it. It's just
That's
the best feeling right now.
That's the power of
I
sports,
just
man.
sat in my chair after the game watching. Everybody went to bed because obviously my wife's got to get up early. So now I'm sitting outside on the patio all by myself,
crushing a baguette.
Yeah.
crushing a baguette with a Ryan Coke,
Ryan toast.
watching
A
the
full French
watching
loaf.
the pressers and just
Oh, that's what he meant by rye bread.
the feeling
Yeah, it's
of
just a glass of
euphoria, knowing that I didn't have to wake up the next day with hockey over, was one of the single best feelings I can describe. It was just, I wanted to call anybody. I wanted to go out.
Chalmers texts me.
messaging Jake.
He's like, how late are you staying at Greta? I'm like, I'm already back in bed.
I saw a picture posted of the whole nation crew at Greta for the
Yeah.
watch party.
Yeah.
And immediately when the game was over, I texted Jay, how long you staying? I was ready to go.
I was crushing Heineken 0.0s
I was very impressed by that.
and just nervous wreck.
Yeah, Jay snapped at me at one point
Yeah.
during the game. It was very unsettling and kind of ruined my mood.
But
for the rest of the
hindsight would
evening.
suggest I was right to do it.
Tyler was mad about his bets.
We're in the heat of the let's paint the picture. We're in the midst of the game and it's intense because
They're up
Florida's
3-0.
pressing.
What's the worst that's going to happen?
Florida's
Florida comes
pressing
back?
on. We're like, and Tyler pulls up his app to check his bets. And I'm like, dude, put that away. Now's not the time to see if you've won any money. Job's not fucking done. And what happens? Like like within 100 seconds
they
of that,
score their third
they
goal?
score.
No, the 3-1 goal, yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
it started. I'm like,
Oh, wow. That's really early to be checking your bets.
Well,
Thank you.
I knew our friends at Bet365 have the payout when your team goes up 3-0. So
I already knew that. I went heavy on the money line. I saw 3-0. I just had a little mental check mark go off. Okay, I've hit it. Now job's not done. Let's go. Didn't look at my phone
For the
once.
second game in a row, my leg of the nation parlay, the real life parlay, I fucking suck.
You're the
Didn't
anchor.
I say that
Drysdale
Connor
got
Brown
one
scored?
shot.
What?
Didn't I say Connor Brown?
Yes,
scored
you
for a
did.
parlay?
Yes, you did.
And it took
100%
the
you did.
odds-
Yeah.
the
And it was the
odds
second lowest,
Yeah.
like the second highest odds.
Did we win?
No, because Drysdale didn't get 3 shots. He only had 1 shot in net. Oh. Drysdale.
That's all. But I called you out. I'm like, why are you picking a shot
I know.
prop? You're not a
I
shot
know.
prop guy.
I know I'm
When
not.
Connor Brown scored that goal, man, that's good living.
Well,
We're plus
it's
one
a
on the
powerful
on the-
signal.
on their
Like we
power
did the
play.
last 2 games, we scored a shorthanded goal to lead off the scoring, and that just sets the goddamn tone.
Kachuk, like you said, making one of the best diving empty net plays I've ever seen, sweeps the puck magically right onto a looping Connor stick.
My favorite part about that play was Oliver Ekman-Larsson completely mailing it in.
Yeah,
Well,
he
to be
wasn't
fair, he probably thought it went in, but yes, it
Still.
looks hilarious. Now you have to give and I'm hoping he just totally emptied the tank in that game for Matthew Tkachuk to guarantee that win and play the way he did. Like I commend it.
Yeah.
It obviously was not enough. Matthew had the goal, had the big save. Like he left it all on the line, and hopefully that is all of it that he had.
Yeah.
And
So-
you got dragged back up to Edmonton on E, bro.
I know it's going to be difficult not to jump back and forth, but I did want to say one thing
Between
about
bread and hockey.
about Connor Brown and the way that he anticipated
Brown bread.
that pass across on that penalty kill. When he anticipated that and got a stick on it, I was just
and Montour
amazed.
still made the decision
Because
to pass.
Yeah, like
because
that
you-
was an idiot play by Montour.
It was a terrible play, but the fact is Connor Brown jumped on it about as fast as a guy can.
And then Alexander Barkov chased him to the blue line and was like, that's probably enough.
Yeah.
So
Probably hit
that
the
was
boards.
Barkov, Bobrovsky kind of ran the math like 0.2% chance.
Connor
Yeah,
Brown was doing this thing where on the forecheck too, where he goes in and he'll go to the one side of the puck, and as he's about to take contact, he'll quickly pull it and spin so that it goes to the other side and the guy misses. And it was working every time. Like he was one of the best players
and
on
his
the
stick
ice.
lifts.
Yeah,
his
and
stick lifts.
his stick lifts, the second and third efforts were just immaculate. Now, this is where we're going to jump back and forth. This Matthew Tkachuk play is probably the greatest empty net save
What
I've
about what's the
ever
guy
seen.
from Carolina? Same thing.
I
Who
think,
cares?
yeah, something
Recency
Martin
bias.
had one, I think. Followed by the single stupidest thing he could have done. He was going into that net with speed. He could have taken it off.
But Chalmers, the counterpoint to that is he didn't want to face off in his own zone.
But they could have gotten the goaltender back in. They would have lived to fight another
Well,
day.
You think they're going to do the draw the goalie out?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But like, if you don't take the thing off,
No,
He
your,
wasn't- he
your
was-
best chance is the chaos of a rush the other way, not 19 seconds face off in your zone,
okay,
goalies
and
back
benefit
in.
of the doubt, he may not have seen McDavid.
He
Coming on him.
purposely, and also probably expected the 2 Panthers in the vicinity to do their job. But everyone, you saw all the reaction videos. Everyone thought that went in.
I thought it went in. I was
Yeah,
jumping up and
so-
down, and then Jay was like, not in. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I just knew we were getting one in the empty net. I just knew it.
I just wish I
No, when
could have gotten an
Janmark-
assist on it, and I would have
post
been very
by
rich.
Janmark,
I think that was a better game than game 4. Like, it didn't have the shelling of an 8-1
Oh, yeah.
distraction, but that to me was one of the
In
best.
hindsight, like living it, stressful AF.
Yeah.
In hindsight, you're like, yes.
you know, and there was a lot of
Because the
talk.
stress is good
There
if you get
wasn't a
the
lot of stress in
outcome.
game 4. They were just
Well, once,
shelling
yeah,
the
it's
fuck
like-
out of them, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about Leon needing his legacy game, needing to really like have his
Well,
Stanley
he's
Cup
clearly
finals game.
hurt.
Yeah, and then that's like there was a
It's
lot of
coming.
people after the game that were like, Leon was good tonight, and I was thinking to myself exactly the opposite.
It's coming. Trust
In
me.
that first power play, him and Connor fumbled the puck a couple times
Hurt on
each.
Leon, do you think?
You know,
His
it
hand?
caused a
I think he broke
penalty.
a finger, didn't he?
Oh.
Like he's not.
I heard lower back somewhere.
But I imagine it's like going to be one of those things where once the Oilers win on Monday, the next day when they do
It's
their avails,
all
it's
bets
like
are off.
Yeah,
Leon's
this guy's been
basically dead.
since the middle
Like
of
he's
the
got
second
no
round.
legs.
He's
He's
gonna
Oscar
have-
Pistorius.
Leon's going to show up, and I think
No, my lady.
and Uncle Kerry, we were chatting this morning about this,
Oscar
are
Pistorius?
heavy on Draisaitl showing up.
Keep it or cut it for our great friends at Great Clips.
Hell yeah, Chalmers. Great tie-in to a Keep It or Cut It. It's brought to you by Great Clips. 4,400 hair salons throughout the United States and Canada. Great Clips is the world's largest hair salon brand and official hair salon of the NHL. And your time's valuable, which is why you can use the Great Clips check-in app. See the wait time, check it on your phone, and get your haircut when you want. For more information, check out greatclips.com. Great Clips, it's gonna be great.
Keep it or cut it. Even though 3 days rest between games is the worst thing for the fans, is it the best thing for the Oilers?
Yes. Leon has a broken finger. Did you hear? That shit will be cleared up in 72 hours.
Yeah, like both teams get the same amount of rest, so
Right, but their guys, from what I can tell, I don't know why they're not playing great. They're not. They've turned it on, but they've had some down performances. The Florida Panthers.
Oh, I see.
they were pretty good. in game
We
6.
obviously look at
Or 5.
we microanalyze our players, but it feels to me like we could use the rest a little bit more than they can. We're having to play way more intense with our backs against the wall than they are. And so
I appreciate the rest for the Oilers, but I also appreciate now that the Panthers have 3 days of dragging everybody they know back to Edmonton and having
I heard
that
they weren't going to do
extra
it. Are they doing it?
Of course they're gonna.
Yeah, they're doing it.
You got it. Like
And
I
then
was
having that extra little distraction in their minds, like it's one more thing to think about.
I loved Connor. I saw that clip of him leaving the building, and
sorry for making you guys fly back and forth or something. I'm
Yeah.
excited for the flight.
like I think he was talking to media. Yeah,
He was.
You guys excited for your flight?
Yeah. It's so great. It's
He
so
just
great.
looks like when he did that yell after the empty netter, he just looks like he's not going to be denied.
After
That beard, man.
and he didn't celebrate like really any of his other goals in game 4 or 5. But that empty netter, it's like, whoo, that just shows you how dialed in he is.
Well,
even
He
when he's
hasn't won
scoring those-
empty netters either.
It's punched the ticket, right? In the sense of they're still alive. They're back in Edmonton. Like it just the Stanley Cup is still a reality right now.
Keep it or cut it.
Yes.
Did you guys see this thing
Did
about?
we keep or cut any of the first things you said?
Yeah, we're all keeping it.
I'm keeping
We're
it.
keeping it.
Okay.
We're keeping the rest is good for, although bad for the fans because we have to wait and we're in.
That's okay. It's
we're
not about
impatient,
us.
We're excited. No, it isn't.
But you know
I'll
what?
tell you
It's-
one thing about Game 5. From the hours until 5 p.m., a day flew by. From 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., it was 3 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they started scoring, it wasn't a fun time.
Mm.
I don't know.
But then I also think Chalmers with a 3 day wait, that sets the tone for a Friday night game 6 in Edmonton.
Magic.
People are going to be doing zero tomorrow.
Small town
Magic.
Friday night.
It is going
They
to
write
be
country songs of
electric.
You know what's so amazing? And I know, Chalmers, you've got another
It's
keeper.
actually called Small Town Saturday Night.
Bread?
Keep your clip it, Brett.
I'm a
Only
keep.
like toast.
Keep is just we've already talked about the attention on Edmonton, but just now how the world is talking about Edmonton.
It's unbelievable. Okay. And that's going to tie
awesome.
into, I don't know if I should do the keep it or cut it now or tie into the world and the media and what they're saying about Connor McDavid.
Oh, you want to cut that
About
potentially?
Edmonton. No, I want to keep that so hard right now. So hard. 6
Hard
to
keep.
midnight hard.
We are
Like-
undoing the damage of 2006's off season 18 years later.
Okay, let's go back to the keep it or cut it for the great friends at our great friends at Great Clips.
Mhm.
This Connor McDavid goal. There's been a few memes now. There's been the one of the 4 pictures like we got him surrounded. We got him surrounded tighter. Oh my God, where'd he go? Puck's in our net. Right? I love that meme.
The one I made is my mentions are still
It's fantastic.
unusable.
Awesome.
So there's this
It's
thing
over
that
a
just
million
came
impressions
out
now.
that apparently Darnell Nurse from the bench saw what was happening and yelled at somebody on the
Corey
ice.
Perry.
Corey Perry, but was just yelling, somebody get up there.
Yeah, because he knew he was. Chris Johnson wrote about it yesterday in The Athletic.
Would have
Yeah.
been very Corey Perry to not get up there,
There's
so
people
it's
trying
not
to-
surprising someone had to yell at him.
There's people trying to poo-poo it right now. There's people trying to say that there's no way this could have happened.
Now,
keep or cut that this happened.
Ferraro's the one that was talking about it.
Yeah.
Was he not in between the benches?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, then
he was.
then
I mean,
he knows exactly what happened.
Ray
Sounds to me like
Ferraro's
we're
the
keeping
best at what he does too. So if he picked up on it, like that's a key moment.
But he would have been just 2 feet away from it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I agree with Jay.
So if
Sounds
you
like we're
want to poo-poo
keeping
on it, then you're a Panthers lover and an Oilers hater.
so before we
You're
talk
an Oilers denier.
before we talk about what?
Keep it or cut it.
Yeah, did we
Chalmers.
cut anything here?
No, I'm keeping it.
Keeping or cutting. Did
I'm
Wilt's
keeping it.
100-point game happen?
I think that Ferraro heard it. I think that the team is on another level right now. I think that guys on the bench are talking to guys on the ice. The fact that Corey Sperry went so hard to the net and everybody was so mesmerized by the greatest hockey player in the world. And
Corey
we
Perry?
jumped on that. I was so glad
Hall
it was
of
him
Famer Corey
too.
Perry?
I was just so glad he scored.
Ended up being the game winner.
So I'm keeping it.
That was almost as good as the Columbus when he came back from the collarbone, but just with the magnitude of the fucking cup
just
finals.
ridiculous.
With how stressful that game was, we didn't lose a period.
Nope.
We won
2-1.
2 and tied 1.
Yeah, 2-1.
And it felt, it
We only
didn't
had
feel
6
like
shots
that.
in the third.
Because I mean, like
Just because we were
the
playing on
Panthers
our
were
zone.
buzzing at even strength. They were absolutely buzzing.
They were doing a good job.
That was their
in
best
our
punch
zone.
at 5-on-5.
Oh,
Bobrovsky's now 7 minus the time Stolarz was in net, 7 periods of not being good. What?
I know, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Like that goal Connor scored.
like, should Bobrovsky start game 6?
Oh, please.
Let's get that.
there's
Let's
no
get
way
that
they
narrative
start.
going.
Goalie controversy.
Well, I don't know. Should
Once
he?
an Oiler?
Question mark.
Do they start Pickard?
Give them Pickard.
Yeah.
Let them rest for game 7.
Pickard's such an E-Town boy that he would just lay an egg for us.
Pickard versus Stolarz.
Skinner, with that big save off of that one timer, another one on the
Stu.
glove, like that set the tone. When you show your
Like,
team that,
stop creating
in
those
the
opportunities,
first 3
but yes.
minutes of the game, it's game changing. It's so much fun.
The
to watch.
swings, though, for like Skinner to be one of the worst modern day save percentages ever to like just slam in
Not
the
the
door.
Stanley. Well,
Stuart Skinner in games 4 through 7 during these playoffs in every series, games 4 through 7, 9-0, 1.56, 938 with a shutout.
Jesus Christ.
it's just like my favorite was Jason Demers, friend of Oilers Nation every day, just tweeted that. Just a screenshot of those numbers. Big oil man.
no team has ever won the Stanley Cup in Edmonton.
Well, as I
Okay.
was pointed out
I
on
love that stat.
Instagram, Tampa won, but they didn't beat the Oilers.
And okay, and when people say that stat, it's no team except the Oilers has ever won at Edmonton, right?
Well, Tampa won.
Yeah, and then Tampa technically won because Frank said just that line. He said no team has won the Stanley Cup in Edmonton, and I was like, "What? Didn't they win in the '80s like a bunch
Edmonton
of times
won,
with
yeah.
home
Although
ice?"
people jumped on the ice and smoked.
Yeah, I was like, that wasn't like in Boston.
what a time
I
to
just
be
meant
alive.
no away team.
Lighten up
Yeah.
a dart.
No away team
and
has won
Rexall
the cup.
plays
That you
after
bought
Connor.
at the
Best when they used to
concession.
jump the
Yeah.
boards and fans partied with them.
They let them.
I know, it was great.
It was like encouraged to jump on the ice.
I
As
bet
long
they
as you
had-
a lit smoke you bought at the arena.
I bet they had cigarette machines on the walls back
Buy
then.
one, get one. You used to be able to buy smokes at the concessions. A guy sent me a photo once on Insta. He's like, check this photo out. And it was like a lineup in the 80s. And like you could see on the signs the prices of everything. There's like a huge players logo and the different smokes you could get. That's when we used to win wars.
I wonder if you could buy
That's
singles or you had to buy a whole pack. You know, sometimes you don't want the
I
whole
think it was
pack.
all back. Well, and I think a whole
Upper
pack at
boy,
the
you
time
get
was a
single
buck.
for yourself.
Yeah,
So some guy hawking singles up there.
yeah. Well,
Oh, it's side hustle.
Darts coming up with a little like.
Who needs darts?
So-
Oh, in Australia, we found out
Piping hot
about
darts?
There was,
I know.
there was a guy that does the rolling, and we talked about the tobacco pouch, but
Yeah.
darts packages in Australia are 30s, not 25s.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So I know that I hijacked that segment, but did you have one?
I keep it or cut it?
Yeah.
Oh no, I've actually started relying on you for that segment.
Okay,
You've
great.
been so good
I
at
like
it.
it. Well, then we can move on
you
because
should
they're-
teach Chalmers to do ad reads.
I
It
don't
would
wanna
be
do
very
that.
good to get you to start doing the ad reads.
I would
Also,
do it.
great moment today. I should clip it. But we had Louis DeBrusque on every day. People should go
Nice.
listen to the interview. It was good. And I did the final questions, always brought to you by Great Clips. So I do the whole Great Clips ad read. I go, Great Clips, it's going to be great. And then I go, Louis, enjoy game 6. And he goes, thanks, Tyler. It's going to be great. I was like, I said, that's how you know he's a broadcaster. He knew the
Louis is a
tagline.
pro.
Also, he's got a beard going right now. Very jarring to look at. Looks
Like,
great.
Looks like he would, well, I shouldn't say that, but probably carries an axe.
Yeah.
I
And
saw an interview with Louis DeBrusque on Twitter the other day, and it was like early Louis. People forget how hot young Louis DeBrusque was, man. Like,
Just a
you want to
treat.
talk best looking Oilers of all time? I would put Craig Simpson in that top 5. Potentially Jason Arnott, but
Oh,
for
Arnott
sure,
was
young Louis DeBrusque.
Young
is
Dave,
top five.
Doug Waite would like to have a word.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a good looking man.
Oh, yeah.
Rookie season Nail Yakupov.
Oh,
Young Sean Horkoff would like
Before
to
his eyes
have this
swapped
conversation
colors?
with us.
who else is in your Mount Rushmore of best looking Oilers?
Leon, president and CEO.
Oh, Leon,
Current day Leon.
Yeah,
not
not
draft day Leon.
Rookie Leon wasn't a sight.
You know what's funny?
Yeah, I
Like,
want the beard like
Oh,
the
they still
hair
have like the
slicked
baby
back.
cheeks. Like you look at like McDavid and Draisaitl in their draft photos. They got the baby cheeks still.
Jason Bonsignor with that mullet was a real good looking
That
guy.
chain he was wearing at the draft,
iced out.
outside of his jersey. Clefbaum, you could make a case.
Oh, come on.
Well, and like
Founding member of the Swedish
I
Hockey team.
can only assume Kevin Lowe was a handsome young man.
He was.
Oh, yeah.
Got
Yeah,
Karen
yeah.
Percy Page.
When he had the hair, no joke. She won an Olympic medal.
You darn right. Darn
Now,
tootin'.
there's eras of Gretzky where he is fly as hell.
Mm.
Like he's had so many
Yeah.
different hairdos over the years and shit.
Playgirl Gretzky
Like-
era.
Yeah,
Like
on.
the one where Gretz is laying there with his skate. I think it's a 7-Up ad or something. He's
sitting
laying
on the ice with his little shorts on.
Yeah, buddy. Skates around his neck.
It's after he was an Oiler, but when he went to the Rangers and had the long flowing hair, he looked good.
Can we like? I know that we talked about how great Mess looks, but like you look at him back in the day, like he's aged like a fine wine.
Oh yeah.
He's better looking now than he was when he played.
100%. I don't know. His teeth were like kind of mangled because he was a hockey player, obviously. But like he looked older back then than he does now.
I'd put Igor Ulanov on the Rushmore.
Yeah.
Best
I
looking.
got him.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
If that's
Sure.
your type.
That Eastern European look.
Yeah.
Do you think that people really love Broberg, or they just have an echo love for our former Swedish
I love
defenseman?
him.
He's just like
what do you see when you see him play?
I only think of Clefbaum.
Did
When
you
he
see-
scored the other day, I said, "We miss you, Oscar Clefbaum."
But
did
that's
you
a
see
good thing. If
Broberg
you
put
think he
one
looks
right
like
in front of our
Klefbom,
net?
that's a good
But
thing.
does he play like Clefbaum?
But it was Broberg put one right in front of our own net because he had pressure. There was pressure on the boards. There was pressure coming from behind the net, and he put it right out to the defenseman in front of our net. And I was like, "What are you?" And
No,
it was
that's when he passed
by
it.
far the best play he could have made.
Oh.
And I was like, "This kid is poised."
I just
Sorry, I thought you
love
were talking
that
about a
he's
different
a
play.
human breakout in himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he can
great.
skate it out. It's just amazing that he barely plays in the AHL this year and
7
doesn't
games.
play in the playoffs. And like it was, and just to come in with that confidence and poise.
Get thrown into game 4
Paul
against
Coffey,
in
Dallas.
the most critical, it obviously must be. Like it's insane. Like we always knew he had the tools, and I guess the toolkit where he needed to be refound. And now, like with the maturity and confidence he's been able to build up, and this is probably from playing him a lot in the American League. It's amazing to see what we actually got. Now we're actually seeing what Phil Broberg's all about. I
Back
call
to
him
the
Phil.
Mount Rushmore of sexiness.
Mhm.
I just want to put that one picture from the dressing room with Sheldon Surrey, Ethan Morrow, and Andrew
Oh.
Cogliano. Just the whole picture up there.
Sheldon Surrey has to be.
oh God,
Can there be
Oh,
any heads
forget
on
about
Mount
him.
Rushmore?
Mm.
he might be number one. He
We
might
called
be a
him-
number one
yeah.
seed.
We
and
called him
missed
Big Sexy for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You know?
saw him at the airport once, Chalmers, and security walked him past the big long line, and he had like a real deep V shirt on with like sunglasses
Of course he
tucked
did.
in.
Yep.
I thought it was a movie star.
He's got that.
He didn't
Aura.
look like a hockey player. He had a whole movie star aura around. I'm like, God damn, is that? And then I realized
Some guys just win the life lottery, don't they?
Ethan Morrow, good looking guy. He could be on that list.
Yeah, he's got that rugged good look.
Yeah.
So we did talk about like what people are saying and how Edmonton is just people are talking. The streets are
It's
talking.
like the most talked about place in the globe right now. At least
So
that's what my biased opinion suggests.
like we talked about last podcast, I listened to the Dan Lebitard show. They are Panthers
That
fans.
Miami Bay show?
That's
I
Miami
only
Bay
know
show.
it as
Miami
that.
Bay's podcast.
Yeah, I didn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So a couple funny things have come out of this. Before last game, they like to just make jokes about hockey. They pretend they don't know, but some of them know. And they said after we scored our first shorthanded goal in game 4, if they are way better than us on the penalty kill. And they like to cause chaos. So they said, is there any opportunity that we could decline the power play just so we can keep it 5-on-5 and that people, and to have that be the first goal in game 5 is just super funny. They also talked about the fact that they had Jason Taylor was a Hall of Fame Miami Dolphin, and he was going to do the drum. And the drum in that building, fans at the beginning of the game booing the Canadian national anthem, Terrible look.
Tough look.
But they pride themselves on getting that drum beat and that pumping the crowd up. So they were going to have Jason Taylor, but they switched it last minute to Jack Nicklaus.
Colton Bear.
And
Noted
Jack
Floridian.
Just
Jack
a
Nicklaus.
little, and he was
that-
doing a little tappy.
And that show was like, oh God, 86-year-old guy, we're going to rely on him to like pump up the crowd, right?
Someone had to stand behind the drum and clap for Jack
They
so
always
he
do
knew
that.
it.
so he
Oh,
could
really?
get it.
So
But did you
otherwise-
see his utter focus?
Yeah.
He's staring at the guy ready to do it. He had good rhythm, energy level, not so high.
Yeah.
So that's very funny that they are discussing this. Their mood today on their show was one of absolute frustration. The show's being pulled apart, and I'll tell you why. Outside
It might end.
of Amerbank Arena or Amaret Bank Arena, I don't even know how to say it, there is a billboard. Okay. I'm going to tell you what this billboard says, and I want to get your reaction on it. It says Edmonton, home of 5 cups and 0 rats. Explore Edmonton, Canada's hockey season. It is an Explore Edmonton billboard.
I'm
You do that?
I'm a proud board member
You
of
do that?
Explore
It is
Edmonton.
incredible.
And it
So
is
you're-
good work.
You're
Do
a
you
little
have something
behind
to do with
us.
this?
I knew it was happening.
So Dan
I just can't
Lebitard.
talk. I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about and what I'm not.
Well,
not
that-
allowed. No, but like beforehand.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so Dan Lebitard famously, like 6 years ago, when LeBron was in Miami and they were winning championships, he put billboards up in Akron, Ohio, saying along the lines of like, "Thank you for LeBron. You guys suck." Just basically, and it didn't go well. It was really not great he was on ESPN at the time. Anyways, they were floating the idea they wanted to put up billboards because Greg Cody on their show was the one that came up with the Mick overrated thing, saying that I don't care how good he is. They call him a compiler of stats, but if he doesn't win the big one, 9 years in the league, it doesn't matter. He's overrated. Right? So that's the show.
Have we posted that billboard on social?
Mm-mm.
Sorry, I should have sent it to you. Anyways.
It's good. So they were thinking about putting up a billboard to the point where they then saw Explore Edmonton's billboard. And they were like, they struck first. They weren't going to do it because they thought it was a jinx. They already were pissed off that a member of their team was causing a quote unquote jinx for them by saying Mick overrated, by making it about him and all that. So they didn't want to put up the billboard, but Dan wants to put up a billboard in Edmonton
Come at us.
with a big picture of Greg Cody that says Mick overrated. That's it. Right? And if you get the joke, you get the joke. If you don't, you just look and you go, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. He wants to do it, but there's 3 people on his staff that absolutely are diehard Florida Panthers fans and have been waiting for this for 20 years, 30 years since the team started. And it's on today's show, legitimately caused them to fight and have a riff and to be like where the producer is telling to Dan Lebitard, like, you're messing with something I care deeply about. And he's like, but it's about the joke. And he's like, you got the joke. We got the clicks. We got everything we want. What more do you want? If this happens, or the Oilers finish this, for them, this Greg Cody, who once wrote an article saying that they should trade Dan Marino because he will never win a championship and was ridiculed for it, this is his legacy in that market. And the fact is they spent 2.5 hours of a 3-hour show just talking about this. And
Probably one of the
they had
best
PK
episodes ever.
Subban again on. All PK Subban said was like, you're seeing the most phenomenal hockey player in the world play hockey at the highest level, back-to-back 4-point games.
First time
Talk
ever
about
Stanley Cup
that.
history.
Yeah. Jesus. Guy's got almost 100 points in the playoffs. Anyways, carry on.
We're talking about what people are saying outside of this. Every single person that was here, if you listen to the Chicklets guys, if you listen to other hockey podcasts, nothing but glowing reviews about what this city had to offer, what downtown had to offer, what the fans had to offer, what the arena experience was like. Some called it the best arena experience they've ever had
Wow.
in sports.
Wow.
That right there is enough of a reason to be super proud and to like reaffirm why the fuck we do this, why we had the Decade Darkness, why we're so passionate, why we buy Nation gear, why we have flags, why every 2 days right now we're drinking Ryan Cokes, way too many of them.
The side piece of sourdough.
It is
It's the
Jalapeno
last
sourdough.
Thursday of
the
the week.
piece of sourdough. It's incredible to listen to shows that never talk hockey glowing about this city.
That's why it's so important to have McDavid in a cup final too.
It's
Well,
so
look at the
important.
viewership. And I love it how they're like calling it North American viewership to kind of mask the US numbers. But it's game 5 this year versus last year is up 61%.
In an era where they're saying that the NBA's declining numbers are actually as a result of so many people bootleg streaming.
Oh.
People are watching the finals more than ever, but not on
Traditional
but
ways.
yet hockey's ratings are still at 60%. That's wild.
And this is what there's a larger discussion to have in the offseason, but like that, even if it's Canada moving the needle, like that raises the tide.
Yeah. Look at the NBA's new TV deals, man. Like how many tickets they sell, they don't give a fuck. That's 7.8 billion over the next 10 years, right? Every nerd that gets available for a Supermax contract is now getting 5-year $300 million.
$300 million.
And they think Wemby in like his 7th or 8th year will make $91 million in one fucking season.
It's crazy.
That's all off TV. It is so important. If the NHL wants the cap to keep going up, if they want more money for Connor and all this kind of shit, it's not going to
But the
become from
TV
squeezing-
landscape is constantly changing too. Like right now, there is a class action lawsuit against Sunday Ticket. Did you know about this?
No.
Sunday Ticket and the NFL, knowing that they wanted to push their viewers to CBC or to CBS, sorry, and like NBC to their viewer partners, is the reason why they charged so much money for Sunday Ticket. They could have, and Apple tried to do it, where they would offer Sunday Ticket with a package or be able to buy it in segments. If I wanted Sunday Ticket, but I only wanted to watch the Arizona Cardinals, that should have been an option. The NFL is alleged to have ensured that that wasn't a possibility, that you had to buy the whole package, that you had to have that price, that huge price tag, because it was a premium package, in order to deter people from buying that package and going to
That's what they want.
their network partners, because that's where their TV money was. It wasn't coming from Sunday Ticket. That's a small portion.
Yeah.
And I think what they thought was like, am I using opportunity cost here, right?
Yep.
By having such a high cost to their Sunday Ticket, they would push viewers to their partners.
Interesting.
And there is
They're getting sued.
by the nation. Like it's a class action lawsuit for anybody
We're
that has
suing the
purchased
NFL?
by that is for huge money that has purchased anybody that has purchased Sunday Ticket in the past.
I guess I'm part
is
of this. Let's go.
Potentially going to get a refund.
take 'em
if this
down.
goes through. But I mean, the NFL doesn't really lose all that often. I highly doubt they're going to lose this one. But it's an
Because
interesting
everyone's getting a free Sunday ticket for life.
But we're all going
All
to
the
be
affected.
like, if you want to watch football next year, you may have to have like 6 or 7 streaming.
Yeah, doesn't it cost more to get all the packages than to get season tickets to the Carolina Panthers?
That's
Oh,
pretty
maybe.
much.
That's stupid. They're terrible.
All right, we are going to continue this discussion and more, but first we are going to step aside for a quick break. Back on the Real Life Podcast, not only is there a massive Oilers game tomorrow, but the Edmonton Stingers are in action. Got to give some love to them. They're off to a great start this season, a 6-2 record, which has them just half a game back of the top spot in the conference. In the West, just half a game back of the Vancouver Bandits. And they got a game in hand. So if they win tonight and they're taking on tonight, they're playing the Ottawa Blackjacks, who are 2-5. So a good chance for them to get a win. They'll be in a tie with Vancouver by the end of the night. So Stingers 2-time champs. It is a great time. Free parking out at the Expo Center. $5 food and drink menus as well. That includes brewskis. Hello. And tickets start at $20. Free parking, $20 tickets, $5 food and drink menu. That's elite.
And it's a good product.
It's a great product. I am going to my first ever Stingers game tonight.
Oh,
Give away some
Is that
tickets.
why you're wearing your Stinger shirt?
That is why I'm wearing my Stingers shirt today, because it is a
They're
Stingers
great.
game day.
I had a great time in my first one.
Yeah,
Looking
I
forward
can't
to
wait.
going.
Yeah.
They played music during the game.
I don't know. I've never been.
Yep.
Like
They're
in the
gonna play.
NBA.
Mhm.
That's cool.
It's a vibe, man.
Yeah,
$5 beers, $5 concession. Come on.
that's great.
It's good stuff. Tomorrow, Friday, game 6. I know everyone keeps saying it's basically going to be like a holiday in Edmonton. Today on ON every day. I just
It's
put
the solstice.
Is it the solstice?
Yeah, man.
It's the solstice.
So what time's sunset tomorrow?
3 a.m.
Hey, can you guys, JR, Wanye, do me a favor? Explain what the solstice means. Like, as if somebody in this room didn't know what that meant. Just explain
It's
that.
the longest day of the year.
Longest day of the year. And do you want to know why it is? Is that what you
Oh,
want to
no,
know?
I know why. Just explain to people that may not know.
Well, the earth tilts
Okay.
one way and the other. And so when
Totally.
it goes one way, you get winter
Yeah.
because we get less sunlight because we're going away from the sun.
Yeah, knew that.
And then when we bend back the other way, or tilt, I shouldn't say bend, tilt back the other way, we then get on an angle that maximizes us more exposure to the sun. And based on where our position is, we get more sunlight than, say, someone in Florida.
Now that's not
because they're further south.
Nate James told us when we were kids that winter happens because the sun gets less hot for half the year.
Yes.
And I stand by.
That's a very flat earth theory.
Yes.
But it's
For
because
half the
it's
year,
tilting
the
on its
sun gets cold.
axis that we, so now at the top of the globe where we are, so north, it's tough to hide from the sun. We don't get much
Sunsets
shade.
at 10:07 tonight.
Oh,
And it gets, what time's it up at? Like 5.
And it's still probably light till 11 something.
Yeah. I woke up this morning and I the sun's up. I didn't close my blinds all the way. And I was like, damn, it's probably so close to 7. Like I got to get up and be on the air in 10 minutes. And I was like, I'm just going to lay here till my alarm goes off and I'm going to enjoy my peace. And I laid there for like 20 minutes and I was like, okay, fuck it, I got to check the time. And I looked, I was 5:55. I was like, God damn it. I should have fallen back asleep.
I don't think it can be discredited how lucky we are as Edmonton Oilers fans that the schedule has aligned where we had a Saturday night game and now a Friday night game. Incredible. Just incredible.
Yeah. It's so awesome when puck drops at 6-ish and you walk out of the building at 9-ish.
And it's bright.
And it is just as bright can be.
Mm-hmm.
I quite enjoyed, so friend of the nation, DJ Bean, did his recap video of his trip to Edmonton. I thought it's hilarious because we live here, that when you don't know the sun doesn't go down until 10 p.m. and you walk outside and go, what is happening right now?
I've been on this
how
globe.
many people were like, whoa, it was still sunny. And for like 2 hours, I was like, yeah, what's the big deal? Isn't it like that?
But
everywhere?
don't you go through the same thing every year like I do? Like every time once it gets darker going into winter, I'm like, oh my God, the days are getting short. And I can't believe it's dark already. And then when you get into the spring, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's light out so late. Don't you go through that I go through that every year.
You know what's hitting me right now is when it's like 5:15 in the morning and I wake up because I have to take a whiz and it's like
Flex.
straight up sun's out.
Right, dog.
And then I'm like, I still got like another hour to sleep. This is going to be amazing. But then I lay in bed. We don't have like blackout blinds. We got nice blinds, but it's still brighter. And you're like,
it's something in your brain, right? You see daylight and you're like,
let's party.
I gotta get so think about people actually have the midnight sun.
Yeah.
And it's sunny 24/7 for like 100 days.
Here for a little bit.
Yeah, it just goes around in a circle because the earth tilted.
So
because it's round,
allegedly.
It's round. Solstice. I knew
It's
that.
flat. It flips over.
Like a pancake.
Like a pancake, like a piece of French toast.
Mhm.
What
You
kind of
get
bread
that
do you use for French toast? What's ideal for
Wonder
French
bread.
I swear to God, I couldn't even tell you the last time I had French toast.
That is shocking
that is
given you
Yeah,
off
I don't think I've had French toast in
because you
20
don't like
years.
toast?
What?
20 years.
You don't like the
really?
French?
The fuck?
No, I love French.
There's something to unpack
number one,
there.
we don't make it at our house. It's just not a staple breakfast. When we have a big breakfast, it's straight up just like your
Toast?
traditional hash browns, cube hash browns with bacon.
Your cube
Two
over
pieces.
shredded?
Yeah, oh yeah, big time
Oh.
cube. Big time cube fan. That's why we go to Muggins so much.
Well, I was going to say, maybe we have a celebratory
VLT
breakfast
guy.
at Muggins on Sunday.
And then we need our eggs basted medium. So we get a little bit of yolk, a little bit of runny, a little bit of hard. And so we're traditional breakfast. But when I go out to a breakfast place, I don't get French toast. It's not my thing. I don't know. All right. Plans for Friday.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask everybody about. What's the play?
So I will tell you quickly because I already know. And I'm debating. It's my father's 75th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congrats, LC.
Yeah.
great.
Congrats,
Big milestone.
LC. He looks great.
He does look great for 75. I've met him once.
We have had a family trip to Canmore planned.
Cancel.
Where we're all
Sorry, LC.
I know.
He'll get
So
it.
my
Yeah.
brother and my brother-in-law and my sister are going to the game because
Yes, of course.
they are going to the game.
Yeah.
And so they're not leaving until Saturday morning. But my other brother from Calgary is taking his family, and my parents are going to Canmore. Now, there's a part of us that's just like, I've watched every game in my backyard
Yep.
if I wasn't at it. Now I got to go to Canmore. And there's a part of me that's like,
I don't like it,
What
Chalmers.
do I do?
I don't like
Buddy.
what I'm hearing. It's the fucking cup. Whatever you've been doing, continue to do.
Although to be fair, Liam says the Oilers have lost every game he'd gone to at Greta, and he went to Greta anyways, and they won.
I
So maybe
told him. I
there's-
yelled at him.
You
What
did.
are you doing
You've
here?
been doing a lot of yelling.
There's a few things
Compassion.
that have to do with my Cowboy Chris bracelet that was made by Kennedy that we've won with it. We've won without it. We've won when I didn't know where it was. We've won. So I know that it's not going to make or break it. We're going to go to Canmore. We're going to go with my family. But there was a part of me that was like, I need to stay here and be on my patio
Yeah.
just because.
You're helping.
What if I want to go afterwards? What if I want to go in the town?
You're helping.
So we're doing that. But the day's going to go by so fast, I feel like.
Well, fast and slow. It'll go fast to a point, and then it'll go really slow until the game starts. And then when we have a lead, it's going to go even slower.
Is anybody going to the game? Did you see ticket prices in Lower Bowl? Lower
Yeah.
Bowl ticket prices are $5,000 a piece right now.
Told my dad I'd take him out for dinner as a thank you for bringing me to the game.
A $2,000 dinner.
Said we're getting Wendy's.
You taking him to La Ronde?
La Ronde. Is that
You
the
go
one?
to
that's-
LaRone when you win.
I've been to that one.
You don't go to
the one that-
LaRone because something happened.
Yeah. You
That is not
celebrate.
celebrating,
Win your
is
way
it?
into
Yeah,
LaRone.
W's only, they say at LaRone. I have to reverse engineer my night from when I have to go and get on a microphone and MC my cousin's wedding and work backwards from there.
Is
But
that
that's on Saturday.
night or Friday night, the wedding?
It's on Saturday. Thank God.
So you're going in the morning.
I've
You're
done
leaving?
no prep. It's in Lacombe.
You know everybody involved.
Well, yeah. So I
JR, you sit
I
in
told
front
them like I was supposed to go there tomorrow for like a pre-round of golf with the family and do the rehearsal dinner and chat with the bride
Nope.
and groom.
Learn
Nope.
the groom's
Oh,
name, his
nope.
Buddy,
backstory.
on my drive home from Greta after the game, I'm like, hey, just so you know, everything, cancel everything. I am not coming.
No, you should have just been like, hey guys, do you guys know what I do for a living?
No, and they're like,
I
we
just-
get it. We get it.
OnlyFans?
My poor cousin Paige, though, I'm hearing rumbling. She's a little stressed out. And so I texted her yesterday, Paige, I got this.
Say, Paige.
So
I
I've
was
taken
just in
my
Toronto.
notes. They have made it easy for me. It's just I actually hope I don't have a voice. Because that'll be kind of cool.
I speak in front of full conferences. I can
Yeah.
do this, Paige.
No, yeah. It's just yeah. So I got to get up early and drive to Lacombe.
Here's one piece of advice I'll give you.
Never let an early MC gig ruin a good night.
Yep.
Yes.
We're in a cup run.
Don't write a couple good jokes, but don't try to off the cuff be funny.
Oh, I'm trying to. I put a couple word prompts to try to lead to it to remind me to tell a joke. Like, okay, make a joke about this. I don't know. Maybe I just got to get right after it as soon as I get in there and loosen up. It's not that I'm nervous. I just want to know. I just want to make sure I provide a good experience.
There's some MC rules you can follow that you don't need to have all the details ironed out. Like just find out the nationality of the groom and attack.
You're basically
Portuguese.
you're a timekeeper. You are a facilitator.
Yeah, it's not
Right?
like, and that's what it
To
is.
be a comedian.
I get out. My first speech or first talk is all of the housekeeping items,
first talk?
ceremony, whatever you want to call
Where you
it.
sit.
Ceremony is about to
far, so
begin.
good.
Get ready to sit down. Just a few housekeeping items before
Are you gonna allow him
the
to
ceremony.
clink
You
the
gonna ding?
glasses?
You gonna ding the glass?
I'm gonna point like this. No, I don't have to do. Well, maybe if I have to catch
they don't want you
attention.
to do it,
Well, you got to
remember?
know this stuff,
Some they say
JR.
don't ding
But
glasses.
I've been given that instruction. That's why I got to get to Lacombe a little bit early. Are we dinging or are we not dinging?
Yeah.
Just
Sometimes-
right
So cocktail hour, we roll right into cocktail hour, open bar. We got a marg truck, a beer truck. It's going to be amazing. And there's also going to be a 12 a.m. Upside down keg stand
Competition?
competition. A la the sister's wedding a year
Is
before
it going to
with
be
the same
cold
beer truck.
or warm? I know the keg.
It'll be cold. They'll keep it cold. Yeah, they
It's
keep it cold.
easier to it's easier to gun warm beer, but okay.
Well,
a wedding, not a sanctioned
Chalmers.
event.
Jesus, yeah, exactly. We don't
For
need
beer?
You
scoring
got a keg
conditions
stand
here.
there, Young Chuck?
No, I haven't actually.
You've never done a keg stand?
What?
I'm only 19.
Which means you should have done about 100 already.
No, I don't know what they are, and they scare
Have
me.
you been
Hold
to
on.
it?
You don't know what it is.
Have you
but it
been to a
scares you.
party with a keg?
You do a handstand on the keg.
You've
while
never
people
been to a
pump
party
beer
that
in
has a
your mouth.
keg.
You've never been to a 7 a.m. keg
You're
party?
lying. You're just lying now. Keep this bit going.
I have never
You're
drank
joking.
out of like a no.
When the Oilers win the cup, can we have a keg party? Just Nation. We'll do it in my backyard.
Just Tyler.
We'll get a keg.
Yeah,
we'll make
just
him do
Tyler-
a keg.
just
So this is
Tyler
what
keg
happens.
standing?
You put your hands on the keg. You then get two people to lift your legs up into the air. So you are now doing a handstand on the keg. Another person has the keg funnel. What do you call it? Faucet?
I feel like it would just come on my nose.
Well, that's
part of the fun.
It doesn't sound fun at all.
It's a zero
and you piss at the same time.
Yeah, in your pants. You hear about these pee-stained pants that are going for $800?
Pardon?
Who's pee?
There's a pair of designer jeans that are $800 and they have a pee stain on them.
Like, but actual urine?
No, it's just like the way that they're just
feels it's false advertising?
It's designer piss.
Green light pants. You can just fucking go whenever.
You're so mad, probably, Ramcheck. That's not what it's about.
British Italian menswear brand Jordan Luca sells out of $600 pee-stained designer
What'd
jeans.
you Google to find this info?
pee-stained jeans.
I just said pea-stained jeans, man.
Oh, it's just
Peeing your pants is
they're
cool,
just
then
darker
I'm-
color.
Yeah.
I was maybe like
Billy
a
Madison.
Yeah, the Billy Madison line. Peeing your pants is cool, and and she says some really
Miles
old name.
Davis.
Miles Davis. I love that.
Which story do you want me to tell you, your Ramcheck? Do you want to hear the Mrs. McDavid story? Or do you want to hear how I had an epic comeback win today that makes me pretty sure the Oilers are going to win the cup?
Well, I have
both.
10 minutes till I got to be on with Gregor, so I think we got time for both.
We were driving, Wanya Jr. and I, down Jasper Avenue on game day and I took a photo, so this isn't a lie. You've seen the photo, your Ramcheck, I put in the group.
Yeah, I saw.
We saw Mrs. McDavid.
I heard.
Walking downtown. Well, I'm repeating this.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Listeners.
Sorry.
We saw Mrs. McDavid walking downtown, and we were listening to Black Eyed Peas Pump It, and we both had our jerseys on and pointed to the boy, yelled out, "Let's go Oilers," and she waved to us. And
But you told Baby Wanye beforehand, you said, I'm going to cue you, and you say the line.
Bless his baby brain. He understood for once everything I was telling him. I'm like, that's Connor McDavid's mom. Okay. When I point to you, it's "Let's go Oilers." Yes. Mrs. McDavid walking around downtown at 6 a.m. gave me intense anxiety. I didn't want to say to her, like, do you want to get in the car and I'll drive you back? Because that's even crazier. But I was just worried, like, what if something bad happened to her? But she was so nice and she was so nervous on game day. She was walking around downtown at the crack of dawn solo.
What if something bad happened to her? So I followed her for 6 blocks just to make sure.
1 mile an hour driving. So that was pretty cool. That was good game day vibes. But then today I had a turnaround of events that made me think you can come back from a 3-0 deficit in a series. So
I never thought you couldn't.
back in the day, I had a credit card at a bank. They're not paying us. They don't get named, but I closed it out ages ago, like 2021. I get a phone call, says that bank, and they're like, "Hey, your new credit card's available at the branch." Like, what the fuck are you talking about? New credit card. I closed that credit card ages ago. The guy's like, "Yeah, no, I just got a couple security questions, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "I don't know what this is about, but I'm busy. I got to go." So I hung up on them.
I'll call you later, you said.
Thank God I did that, because I called that bank and I was like, "Hey, what's up with this credit card? It shouldn't." I'm thinking like Chinese spies opened up a new credit card in my name, maxed this shit out. So I'm like stressed out when I call, because that shit does happen.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's like, "Oh, no, I'm looking here. That must have been a scam call calling you, saying your card was available for pickup." So that's the scam. They call you and tell you your card's available for pickup and ask you a couple questions, and that's how they get your info.
I had it.
While I have you on the phone, sir, we're looking at your account. Did you know that you have a completely inactive bank account here with $797 in it? American. 97. Bank error in your favor, like a monopoly. I didn't even know that shit happened in real life.
That's a G Canadian, bro.
I was like, "Well, what do I do?" And she's like, "Well, just go down to any branch and you can just claim your money." And I was
But just
like,
answer a few questions first.
"Exactly."
Yeah.
So I went into that call thinking I'd been
Go down to the alley behind the pint.
Called the scammer
See
back.
Rico.
Like, all right, let's talk about this card. He's like, holy shit.
That scammer guy though had his shit together. I thought that was the bank call.
No, dude, I had it once where like straight up my bank, it said my bank's name on my phone and they called me and were like, and my mortgage was legitimately up for renewal. And they were like, "We just want to talk to you about some of your mortgages and some of this. And we just need some of your info." And I was like, same thing. I was like, "Dude, I don't do this when I answer it. I'd like to call you and then we'll do it." So I kind of hung up
That's
on
what
it.
I heard you're supposed to
And
do.
it
Is
was
just
a
always
straight-
say,
yeah.
"I'm going to call you back."
I once got scammed to the point where I think I might have told this before. It's very embarrassing. They called me and it was my taxation. My taxes were due. Like they were due. And it was my company corporate tax. I knew I needed to deal with it, but I was like a week late. And I got a call and they were like, "Listen, this is what's going to happen. You owe us this." Yeah. Or it's like, arrest time. And I'm like, whoa, what? And so I'm like, okay, my accountant does all this. I tell him my accountant's name and they go, okay, we're going to call your accountant and we're going to loop him into the call. And they legitimately were able to put that number in and make it look like that dude was calling, but it was a dude named JT. And there's like 4 people in this office. And
They
this
call a
guy's
fake
like,
accounting office?
like my accounting firm showed up on the line. I answered the call and they were like, hey, Chris, this is JT from this accounting firm. What they're saying is real. You just got to pay it. And I was
What
like,
the fuck?
I'm like, where's this
My
guy?
guy,
Where's this guy? Like, why are you? He's like, well, I'm new here, but this is real. And I was like, I was
Stop telling me this is real.
so ready to pay it, to give him a credit card and pay it. And then I was like, I just got this feeling. I was like, I need to just hang up
They're good.
this phone. And they got me, man. They fucking got me. I was shook. My heart was pounding.
What a wild form of crime.
I can see why old people
I
get
know.
tricked by this shit all the fucking
That's
time.
why I
now.
get so, that's why my
That's why I don't answer the phone.
They
my
do their homework,
algorithm
man.
now
Like,
has
it's-
where they show me like a really good computer person who gets called by a hacker and then like hacks into their computer, knows their name and tells them their location and like activates their camera and actually has them. And they're like looking around like, hey, no, don't do this. And they like lock their computer. So it's like
The reverse sweep?
the reverse sweep. It's addicting. I've watched so
It's like the
many
new
videos.
Taekwondo.
Oh.
It's so goddamn good.
Last time I had somebody tell me that they were going to come arrest me for a tax bill, I said, come fucking get me then. And I hung up.
Oh, you got the
was
serials,
on
but
webcam?
this is officer
I
blah blah
was
blah
young.
from
I
the
was young.
CRA.
I immediately called my dad. He's like, CRA will never call you. I'm like,
That's a lie. They'll
that's
call you a
something
lot.
I would have liked to know yesterday.
They absolutely will.
They call
They
a
have
lot.
phones. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they call. Because I hung up on them several times until eventually my accountant, the real one, called and go, are you hanging up on CRA? I'm like, probably. That sounds like me.
But I that's why if you're not in my phone, I don't answer it. And now my phone will, like, half the calls I get, it says likely fraud or likely
Yeah.
spam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I just
don't answer
can't
my
bring
phone.
myself to put that thing where it's like, this number has call control. Please push 5.
Oh, I know someone who has that.
Yeah, it's free.
I know a couple of people
It's
that have
free.
that.
You can just do it. Just if you go onto like the app of your phone
But
company.
that's for like the
you
robo
can just add
dialers,
it.
which I guess they're doing anyways. Yeah. It's a volume
one last
game.
thing.
I just
I am-
don't answer my phone. What do you think about that? Unless I know your number is in my phone, I will not answer the phone.
What if you've won a contest?
I don't enter contests. Give it to somebody else, I say. Okay.
What I'm really interested tonight is they were very open about the ice quality in Florida.
Mm.
And tonight there is a Snoop Dogg concert
Yeah.
that I am going to
Are you?
Oh,
at
enjoy.
Rogers Place. And I cannot wait to watch them tear it all down because you know that they're going to be like this
Yeah, Snoop won't even be dungeon and juice, and they'll be pulling
and they'll
up
be
tiles.
pulling up the floor.
Charles is
because-
going to be supervising in the boy. He'll be like, come on, let's get this moving.
No, so what we do is we make bets on what side will win because it's always 2 sides and they have one crew does one side of the floor and one crew does the other side of the floor of getting all the seats, the garbage and everything and wheeling the chairs out. And we make bets on what side's going to win.
I'm confused about Snoop going to the arena because the last time I saw Snoop in town, it was a phenomenal show. It was at Union Hall.
Oh, wow.
And that was probably 2019, 2018. How's he doing a Union Hall tour and an
I
arena
don't know.
tour?
Probably a half Rogers, right?
Yeah, just the lower bowl.
Seal it.
It's not the full.
Oh, I don't know. Like when I went and saw, what was that band called? I went with the missus. Volbeat. I went with, I don't know, man. She goes, she goes, do you want to come to the concert? I was like, okay. But it was only the lower bowl was open. The whole top was kind of like sectioned off.
When I went to go see Arkells there, they do it where like the stage goes at the red line and then they close off half. So it ends up being like a 5,000 seat arena.
Oh, okay.
Do you think they work on the other half of the ice while the concert's on?
No.
Okay.
Let's wrap up the show with our real life squad bet brought to you by Bet365, where you can sign up today, get in on a huge range of markets by using the promo code OILYBONUS, the #1 sports betting platform globally. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gentlemen,
Connor McDavid over 10 goals.
got a real leg there, cowboy.
No,
Guy
yeah,
who's
yeah.
been costing us all the bets.
Yes.
If we'd cash that with the Connor Brown
Can you
leg,
just bet power play goal?
Just any team to score a power play goal.
No. Oiler power play goal.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Why don't we let Bag Milk go first?
Calvin Pickard hat trick.
I am going to go Connor McDavid over 1.5 points.
I like it. That's a good one. Adding it into the leg. Connor McDavid points 2. Jay?
I'm going to go Leon goal.
All righty. We're up to 4-1 now. Just a couple legs in. This is coming together pretty good here. I'm going to go Zach Hyman 4+ shots. I think he is going to have a big night. I think those will be humming in the ozone. Charles?
I'd like to say Boosh anytime point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
Yep.
Boucher and point. Wanya, you got
Oh,
one?
you like Boosh now, Joe? Just kidding. Oh, don't even start.
Waz and I are going to do a little debate here.
Oh,
soon.
man, master debate?
I'm thinking I'm not going to repeat Connor Brown because the miracle's been miracle.
Mhm.
Is there anything to do with that line, like aggregate shots, because that line is rolling?
No, none of them are available for the shot props. That line is humming. I do really like them. It's
I
beautiful.
couldn't believe how much ice time they got in game 4, man. But it was so well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they came on the ice, they were running things.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a shot total against Skinner or Render?
Yeah, you can do Skinner saves.
I know what
I bet you that over-under is going to be 25.
Well, Wanye is thinking. Some notes from our friend Francis Saravalli. Apparently, Matthias Janmark willing to take a pay cut to remain with the team, provided that they can get a little bit of term. Just a little bit of term. Vinny Desharnais, however, will not take a team-friendly deal and could hit the open market.
Yeah, Frank came on ONE today and we talked about that a little bit. And yeah, he was saying that, like, I mean, Janmark doesn't make a lot of money. So like a pay cut is obviously tough to take, but he would like to stay in Edmonton and would take a non-raise basically if it meant more term. Stuart Skinner, 25+ saves.
Over under, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Over. Yeah.
Okay, question.
16-1 is the parlay. Moneyline, McDavid 2+ points, Draisaitl goal, Hyman 4+ shots, Bouchard point, and Skinner 25+ saves in the hockey game. Giddy up.
Is it 25 over-under?
Yep.
That's what I said. Okay, keep it or cut it for our friends at Great Clips.
Boy, you love keep it or cut
I
it.
do love it. Janmark's saying that he'll take a team-friendly deal. It was also reported by Francis Saravalli that talks of a contract with Leon
Have begun.
had begun.
Mm-hmm.
Janmark says he wants to stay here and love it, but why would you if the top guns leave? Keep it or cut it. Does Janmark know something we don't know?
I think he's assuming Connor and Leon are going to be here.
But that's a pretty big assumption. Do you think he knows something that we don't know?
But like, what was the other thing, Tyler, you told me? I tried to find it from your show where Frank was talking about both of them are kind of like, we're coming back.
Yeah. Frank was basically just like, the Oilers have gotten the signal from both McDavid and Draisaitl that they have no plans of leaving. And also, we talked about this on ONRBM. Jeff Jackson took over the Oilers, Connor McDavid's agent.
It's a tough thing to lose in a contract negotiation to your own player as his agent.
But also, do you think Jeff Jackson stands up and goes, I'll come run the Oilers, if for the last 2 years he's been having conversations as McDavid's agent with him about how, like, hey, he's like, how are we going to handle free agency in a couple of years? Like, how do you think about have you thought about your
And
exit?
This is just a really stark difference from a year and a half ago, maybe even at the beginning of this year, when we were not performing and we collectively, to a man, were like, look, you guys, this could be their last years. Like, this could be the last shot.
I went and looked out the
We
window.
were doing that. We have done that for a year and a half. It's always been in the back of our minds. So for you to say that right now and to be in the 6th game of Stanley Cup Finals,
Well, and was it
gives
on?
me shivers down my back.
Was it on
Can't
your show
lie.
that Frank said, like, people were like, why would they start this during the Stanley Cup final? And he goes, well, that's why Draisaitl has an agent. Draisaitl's not doing anything. He's paying somebody to do this for him.
Yeah, you're bang on.
Who's Connor's new agent?
Isn't it Matthew's agent?
Yeffe Jackson.
Jim Jackson.
Can I still get
Jeff
3%
Jackson?
of this new contract? No.
F. Axon.
Imagine that, though, when you're signing Jeff Jackson to come be the GM. And he's like, I know if I stay with my guy here, we got the new Ultra Max deal that I'm going to get, 2%?
Yeah,
3.5, says Frank.
It's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, man.
good chunk of change.
What a great time to be an Oilers fan.
Like if it all comes together, like as soon as the Draisaitl announcement comes through, it's just like, I'm going to feel so good about it.
Yep. Because it is so safe to say that if Leon signs like a big deal,
Connor's an Oiler
we're
forever.
fucking rolling.
This
Hell
makes it though. Now we haven't won as many cups, but a lot of the injustices of losing Gretzky, losing Messier over money, effectively, that's undone in 2024 because we have the new Connor and the new Leon, and they're not leaving. Like, that's phenomenal, man. We're no longer the small market team that like good players can't afford to stay. That's amazing.
Ooh, that's big. Oilers preseason will start on September 22nd out in Winnipeg.
Who cares?
How dare you?
Shut up.
Not in on that.
We're waxing poetically about the future here, and you're talking
Game
about
6
preseason
tomorrow
game.
night.
Game 6. Let's go. Everyone bring positive vibes. Do your part.
Let's win him
And
a
let's
game.
take this to 7.
For those of you going, you two, just scream. I don't want you to have a voice on Saturday when you're the MC at this
I
moment.
want to be the quietest MC going.
Somebody who hasn't seen you in a long time goes, man, Jay been lunging rats this whole time? 3-pack a day guy?
There are rats in Alberta.
No, 31 of them.
No, they're not.
Yes, there is. This is some North Korean mind control.
No. There was 20. Actually, there was 31 last year and 28 this year.
Fuck yeah, we got
I don't
3 of them.
believe it. I believe this is like the North Korean shoe factory telling me how many shoes they made.
There is a
last quarter.
legitimate.
Don't poke holes in this.
We have rats.
Let
We need
us
to-
believe.
We need to tell the
There
truth.
is a rat app where if you see a rat, you can go on the app, you can put in its location, and the rat team will be there because Alberta is rat free.
Rat free.
Chalmers, I remember signing up for the You Know What 19 app, and I was told in a press conference later that 4 people did it, and I was one of them.
you
I
know
don't
my
believe
favorite-
in the
you know
rat
my
app.
favorite
I
tweet?
don't believe in any apps other than Grindr.
You know what my favorite tweet was?
I make so many friends there.
It was a
That was
picture
so nice.
of Matthew Tkachuk in the net after he had saved that thing and the puck was just about to go in. And it just said, despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage.
I
was a
wanted
great
to
tweet.
post that, but then I was
What
worried
a
we were going to
gr-
get in trouble.
People are so
Why?
clever, man. That is so clever.
There's some Instagram rules are changing. and
Oh, fair.
I don't know what we
We're trying to avoid a Zucker ban.
Initiating
Yeah,
the
yeah.
app,
Touche,
or
touche,
initiating
touche.
the ad on Instagram right now without us asking for it. You can scroll 4 pictures, then all of a sudden you can't scroll past a 5-second ad. That's annoying.
I posted a
Update your
hilarious
Instagram.
one the
It's
other day,
a fucking
and the
joke.
person spazzed about having their tweet reposted by us.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair
But
enough.
that was a rat in a cage on was.
Oh, it was so good.
All right.
All right, we got to wrap this up.
I got to be in the north side in 18 minutes.
You guys,
Have fun.
Plenty of time.
go, let's go.
Yep. Oil up.
4-2 win coming. Go Oilers.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.